Hello, my dear students. This is Abhishek Mishra, Faculty of Social Studies at Mount Litra Z School, Jhansi. In this video, I am going to teach you History Class 9, Chapter number 2, Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. So here directly I am going to start this video with the Russian Empire in 1914. You might have noticed that this Russian Revolution meant about the October Revolution and the February Revolution that was done in 1917. This February Revolution was done over there to took power from the monarch, and the October Revolution that was done in Russia to take power from the provisional government. After February 1917 revolution, the Russia was under the rule of a provisional government, and that provisional government was somehow favoring the richer section of the society. So another revolution was done in October 1970. So here we are going to discuss about the pre-revolutionary conditions in Russia. The Russian Empire in 1914. In 1914, Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia and its empire. Besides the territory around Moscow, the Russian Empire included current-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine and Belarus. So you can imagine the size of Russia, how big it was before the revolution. It stretched to the Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states as well as Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. So that was the huge extent of Russia that time. The majority religion was Russian Orthodox Christianity over there, which had grown out of the Greek Orthodox Church. But the empire also included Catholic, Protestant, Muslim and Buddhist. So Russia was also with a great diversity, was somehow dealing with the people of different community who were living over there. In this portrait, you may see the picture of Tsar Nicholas II. He was the monarch at the time of revolution of 1917. Tsar Nicholas II. Now, moving further, economy and society. So here you can discuss or may look about the economy and the society. At the beginning of the 20th century, the vast majority of Russia's people were agriculturists. Russia was an agriculturist country. About 85% of the Russian Empire population earned their living from agriculture. This proportion was higher than in most of the European countries. For instance, in France and Germany, the proportion was 50 to 40%, while in Russia it was nearly about 85%. In the empire, cultivators produced for the market as well as for their own needs, and Russia was a major exporter of grain. Industry was found in pockets, means they were in a limited quantity over there, because majority of the population was indulged in doing farming. Prominent industrial areas were St. Petersburg and Moscow. Moscow is now the capital city of Russia. Craftsmen undertook much of the production, but large factories existed alongside craft workshops. Many factories were set up in the 1890s when Russia's railway network was extended and foreign investment in industry increased. But due to some exorbitant practices of the government, it was not able to convert Russia into an industrial country. Coal production doubled and iron and steel output was quadrupled. By the 1900s, in some areas, factory workers and craftsmen were also almost equal in number. Most industry was the private property of industrialists. Government supervised large factories to ensure minimum wages and limited hours of work. But factory inspectors could not prevent rules being broken. In craft unit and small workshops, the working day was sometimes 15 hours compared within 10 to 12 hours in factories. So as government did not have any control over the factories, the owners of these factories were exploiting the rights of the laborers. Accommodation varied from rooms to dormitories, means the living conditions were also not better in Russia. Workers were a divided social group. Some had strong links with the villages from which they came. Others had settled in cities permanently, means migration was also done in Russia. Workers were divided by their skill. A metal worker of St. Petersburg recalled that they consider themselves as aristocrats. Means the metal workers, those who were the skilled workers, they were earning a lot in Russia. Their occupations demanded more training and skill. Women made up 31% of the factory labor force by 1914, but they were paid less than men. So there was inequality between men and women. Division among workers showed themselves in dress and manners too. Those who were skilled workers, they wore a different type of dress, while those who were non-skilled, they wore different one. Some workers formed associations to help members in times of unemployment or financial crisis, but such associations were few. So it made the condition of the workers pathetic in Russia. So here I am ending this video right now. Thank you.